Genesis 23, the burial of Sarah, the death of Sarah. When Sarah was 127 years old, she died at Kiriath Arba, now called Hebron, in the land of Canaan. This was the land that God had said, I will give to you and all your descendants. There Abraham mourned and wept for her. They've had a long life together. They've gone through a lot of things. And she passes away at 127 years old in this land of Canaan. He mourned and wept for her. Then verse 3, then leaving her body, he went to the Hittite elders, and he said, here I am, a stranger in a foreign land, with no place to bury my wife. Because remember, God had called him to leave the land that he knows. It was years later, and now he's this stranger in a foreign land, and he needs a place to bury his wife. Please let me have a piece of land for a burial plot. The Hittites replied to Abraham, certainly, for you are an honored prince among us. You're a stranger, but you're an honored prince among us. It will be a privilege to have you choose the finest of our tombs so you can bury her there. So, yeah, pick the finest. Take your pick. Oh, wow. 7. Then Abraham bowed low before them and said, since this is how you feel, be so kind as to ask Ephron, son of Zohar, to let me have the cave at Machpelah, down at the end of this field, at the end of his field, sorry. I want to pay the full price, of course, whatever is publicly agreed upon, so I may have a permanent burial place for my family. He says, look, I don't want this just to be a temporary favor. I want to purchase this place. Please let me have this cave, and I'll pay the full price so that I may have a permanent burial place for my family. So he's thinking ahead here. Interesting. 10. Ephron was sitting there among the elders, and he answered Abraham as the others listened, speaking publicly before all the elders of the town. Okay, so this has great weight. No, sir, he said to Abraham, please listen to me. I will give you the cave and the field. Here in the presence of my people, I give it to you. Go and bury your dead. What an honor that is. Wow. Okay, he says, yeah, I'm telling in front of everybody. So this is settled. You don't have to pay this at all. Okay, this is settled. This is the price that I am agreeing upon, and I'm saying it before all. This is publicly agreed upon right now. I declare this. Go and bury your dead. Verse 12, Abraham bowed low again to the people of the land. So he's been bowing low to them and showing this respect and honor and humility. And that is a great sign of respect and of acknowledgement. And that is just interesting. And he replied to Ephron as everyone listened. No, listen to me, he insisted. I will buy it from you. Let me pay the full price for the field so I can bury my dead there. So he is saying, no, I insist, but he does this bowing low, again, with humility. So he's bold, but with right respect and humility, reverence. Let's see how this gets answered. 14. Well, Ephron answered, the land is worth 400 pieces of silver, but what is that between friends? Go ahead and bury your dead. The land is worth 400 pieces of silver, but what is that between friends? He responds with this, we are friends. Okay? Money is not going to come between this. No property thing is going to come between this. That's interesting. Go ahead and bury your dead. Let's see how he responds. 16. So Abraham paid Ephron the amount he had suggested, 400 pieces of silver, as was publicly agreed. So he pays him. He bought the plot of land belonging to Ephron at Machpelah near Mamre. This included the field, the cave that was in it, and all the trees nearby. They became Abraham's permanent possession by the agreement made in the presence of the Hittite elders at the city gate. So it is known that this is Abraham's plot. of land. Okay, this field, the cave in it, all the trees nearby. This is near Mamre. Okay, so Abraham buried Sarah there in Canaan in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre, which is at Hebron. Verse 20, the last verse in this chapter. The field and the cave were sold to Abraham by the Hittites as a permanent burial place. So that establishes and reestablishes, hey, this is a fitting thing. This is Abraham's. This is this permanent burial place. This is his land. It was something that was going to be given to him, but we know that he insisted on paying this so that he could possess it. So that, I believe, that if tension or relationships, friendships changed, Ephron or anybody else couldn't just go, well, the deal's off. This is not yours. Like, no, I want to make sure, because I know relationships can come and go. I know things can get tense with people, and sometimes people deceive people, I've heard. So I want to make sure that this is mine. I want to settle this, which is something that was modeled and that he saw from Abimelech. So he's learning different things, I would think, and I don't think that he's been this successful just because. I mean, yes, he's had God's favor, but even before you see that, he had this great household that he was taking and that God asked him to leave with. So that's where we're at, and we'll see how this plays out.